So for those of you who are my regular followers, you would have seen my video yesterday about how shit my day was. Gotta be honest with you, it was fucked. But you know, I got over it and went home. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but got up this morning nice and early, headed off to work. It was a relatively decent day at work. It was flat out busy. I mean, I'm pretty knackered, but it was all right. And then I went to the post office to check my post office box after work. And I had 3 letters. The first letter was an overdue strata bill for one of the investment properties that is as part of the divorce settlement. But you know, it's negative geared at the moment, so it's basically out of pocket. So I had a letter from overdue strata for that. Then I had a speeding fine that I didn't know I'd incurred. That was $277 and 3 points off my license. For those of you guys who don't know how the licensing scheme in Australia works, you get 13 demerit points. You get 13 points, and a demerit point deducts from that. So if you get 3 demerit points, it reduces your points balance. So at this point, they expire after 3 years, the demerit points. But as of today, I'm down to 1 point until February next year. So fingers crossed I don't lose any more between then and now. But it was, yeah, it's just shit. I'm on 1 point, $277 fine, overdue strata bill. On top of that, I had a letter from the place that does security licenses, because I applied for my security license, and due to an administrative fuck up, they have cancelled my application and charged me the application fee, but refunded the rest of the money for the license. So that's more money down the drain. And then as I was walking out of the post office with these letters, which were basically a money pit, I got a message from my ex-housemate, who's basically moved out effective. It was officially over the weekend, but yesterday was my last day to be in that house in any capacity. I was just picking up a few things. And she messaged me and she said, oh, you know, thanks for the extra week's rent. You didn't have to. She thought that I'd given her a gift. I'd just forgotten to cancel the transfer. It's another $240. So 240 plus 277 plus more money for the application fee. And if I lose 1 more point between now and February, then I either have to be off the road for 3 months or I have to lose no points for 12 months, which is called good behavior. And then if you get caught, lose any points during the good behavior, it doubles the initial suspension period. So as you can imagine, it's been a bit of a blah afternoon for me. Which leads me to what I want to talk about today. You know, there's something, and some women have this ability as well, but not that many from my observations. Men just have this uncanny ability to take responsibility for their actions. You know, it just becomes this uncanny ability to take responsibility for our own shit, to own it, to be at cause. If you've never heard of cause and effect, cause is basically where it says, I fucked up and didn't cancel that weekly transfer that I should have canceled, and therefore I lost $240 as a result. But that was my fault, and I've had to wear the outcome of my faults. Whereas if you're living in effect, it's like, oh, you know, that's not fair that I lost $240. You know, it's not her money, it's my money. I shouldn't have to ask for it back. She should just give it back to me. Right? So that's the difference between cause and effect. And I truly believe in living at cause and taking ownership for my own actions. Like, I'm living at cause, right? I took that, I took the ownership. Hang on a sec. Someone said, did I hear about something? Nope, don't know what it was you're talking about, Ali. Sorry, Alan, I apologize. Yeah, so I mean, we just have this uncanny ability to just own our shit. I don't know why we have that. I guess it's just part of evolution, really, being the ones that are ultimately responsible for everything. You know, we're held responsible for things. We hold ourselves responsible for things. So, you know, I guess it kind of comes with the territory of being a man. When I started this channel, I had a feeling that at some stage I was going to lose my job as a result of bringing this message to you guys. And that ended up happening. But I really owned that. I was like, well, I'm going to live at cause there, because I actually made that choice to start this channel. I made that choice to sacrifice a high-paid job so you guys can understand more about yourselves, understand more about female nature, understand more about the society we live in, and how everything actually fits together like a jigsaw. You know, so you guys actually get to see those pieces of the puzzle and how they fit together, rather than just saying, oh, where are these missing pieces? Oh, it's meant to be like that, you know? So it's been almost 12 months since I lost my job over this channel. And, you know, the money helps, but I don't regret it, because the amount of people that I've actually been able to help in this time, you can't put a price on that. You really can't. Daniel Corica says, cause and effect, because I owe $3,000 and $3,000 in back taxes. Effect, I've been eating canned tuna so I can pay it back. No, cause is where you say, yeah, pretty much, Daniel Corica. So basically, just saying, look, this is the situation, and this is what I'm doing, is cause. Effect is where you're saying, oh, you know, I have to suffer because of this. It's like, life's full of suffering. Shit happens all the fucking time. Today and yesterday are prime examples of that. You know, like, I'm under the pump. You know. You think shit's easy sometimes? You know, no, life is hard. But we as men, not only do we take responsibility for things, but we also take on responsibilities for things that we know are ethically right. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because my instant reaction when all these letters, I was like, oh, you know, all this has come at the same time. I was like, nah, fucking snap out of it, Sydney. Snap out of it. Straight away, I caught myself immediately. As soon as I started saying, oh, why is this all happening at once? I was like, well, let me tell you why it's happening, Sydney. You got a speeding fine because you exceeded the speed limit. And even though it was an administrative error and they fucked up because they actually gave me an extension on my application, I ultimately didn't check my PO box regularly enough to get the letter with plenty of time that I needed to get in order to proceed properly. So that's my bad as well. I fucked up on that too. And then with the overdue strata bill, it's like, yeah, so what? Like, yeah, I've been struggling with cash, right? Because I don't spend the donations you give me, guys. I'm pulling that away for when it's really needed to, you know, for deep purpose, to help you guys in some way or another. You know, I'm chipping away, making contact with people that have got links to politicians and whatnot. Who knows? One day I may even run for Parliament, whether it was local or state government. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I know you guys are gonna be like, oh, you know, Sydney for PM, yeah, but you got to work your way up to that shit. So, you know, let's not jump the gun. But you know, baby steps, guys. Baby steps. Just one step at a time. When things are overwhelming, when you're like, oh, you know, fucking lost that money to my ex-housemate because, you know, the transfer wasn't cancelled and I got a speeding fine and now I've got to miss out on the opportunity to do security work because, You know, they canceled my application. It's like, no, they canceled your application because you didn't get in at time. You got a speeding fine, Sydney, because you sped. Whether you saw the sign or not, you were still speeding. And as a result, you got fined and you lost some points. So, own that shit as well. Right? And then 3, strata bill. Like, yeah, things are tight with money, but it's my responsibility to pay it. So it's my fault that it's overdue. All of these things can be traced back to me. All of these things have happened as a direct result of my actions or lack thereof. And that is how we own ourselves. That is how we truly take ownership of ourselves as human beings. Right? And this is what we got to do as human beings. We have to own our shit. Because right now, schools, universities, they are all teaching people to live in effect. They are all teaching people everything is everyone else's fault. You'll never get anywhere if you can't own your fucking shit. You'll never get anywhere if you keep blaming other people for your poor choices or your lack of action. Right? There's some things where I missed out. Some things where I missed out on opportunities. Right? There's some things where I lost great things that I had going for me. There've been times where, you know, I've fucked things up, and I can own all of that. Because it's only truly when you let go of blaming others and you own your own shit, that is when you truly own yourself. You'll never own yourself while you think other people own your outcomes. Or while you think other people are responsible for the outcomes that have occurred in your life. Notice how I avoided saying outcomes that happen to you? Because nothing happens to you. You create everything in your life. We men are creators. Right? You create it. And MGTOW, we got someone who asked a question. What's MGTOW? MGTOW is men going their own way. MGTOW is men deciding to step away from the expectations of society. Is men choosing, making that conscious choice to step away from things that are a shit deal for them. It's men choosing to own their own shit. It is men realizing that we are living in a gynocentric society and deciding not to throw ourselves at the mercy of women. And a lot of women think that, oh, well, what's so bad about women? It's like, well, you know, it's a great question. Most women are okay, you know, like men are from Mars, women are from Venus, right? We're different. But it's the women that are not okay. It's the radical feminists. It's the ones that live in effect full time and blame men for all their problems. Right? It's the women like the woman in Canberra who accused her ex-partner of breaking into her house and slashing an X into her chest with a Stanley knife or box cutters or whatever you like to call those knives that have got the razor blade coming out. She literally cut herself open, beat herself up, and then accused him. And why did she do that? Because they had a bit of a turbulent relationship in high school, whatever it was. And she got upset, and he was facing 99 years in prison. And if he had not had a selfie of himself geotagged with his family with a time and date stamp uploaded to social media that he could use as his alibi to get him off that, he would have been on the hook for 99 years in jail just because of her hurt feelings. And there is no penalty whatsoever for most people who do this. And Jen, I'm going to say to you, feminists do not believe in equality. Feminazis do believe men are the worst things living on earth. And I'm going to tell you why I say this, Jen. Because, Jen, feminism is the advocacy of women's rights on the grounds of the equality of the sexes. That's how it is in the dictionary. That's what it is. Now, saying that feminism is about equality is just saying that apples and oranges are the same, because I'm advocating the eating of oranges on the grounds of nutrition. The word you are looking for someone that believes in equality is egalitarian. That's EGALITARIAN, egalitarian. That is the only true doctrine of equality. And you cannot ever get a feminist to say, oh, actually, you know what? I am an egalitarian. Right? Because they've been so indoctrinated to think that feminism is about equality that that's all they can parrot. And it's the people that they heard this off, it's the people that they parrot that have lied to them. Right? And God, Brizzy Boy, why am I not surprised? Brizzy Boy says, I saw a thing today that feminists want the word gentleman removed because why should only men be called gentle? Yep, this is feminism in 2018. Feminism say that men are oppressed, but whereas we bear the majority of the responsibilities, they say, oh, well, women are the major, women bear the children, so we're responsible for that. It's like, well, no, the state's responsible for that because they've got to pay for it. Right? You're not even responsible if you murder your child in the first 2 years in Melbourne. Infanticide. Heard of that? Infanticide is a term that applies to only women. The broader term means that within 12 months of birth, a woman can get away with murdering their own child, and that's called infanticide, and it's a lesser punishment than murder. However, you guys will have noticed a video that I did recently where they are looking to what's it called? Looking to reduce it from infanticide to afterbirth abortion, so that it's the same penalty as abortion, which is basically no penalty whatsoever. Well, Miggy in the house. How you doing, Miggy? Good to see all you guys. Says, hey, Sydney, did you see about that fired Border Force white knight who got fired for hiring his girlfriend for customs? He said Gavin McInnes is a hater and should not be allowed in Australia. What a fucking soy boy. What a cock. And for those of you guys who are lactose intolerant, ditch the soy and get onto some lactose-free milk or some almond milk or anything with no soy in it. Anyway, long story short, feminists are the worst enemy of women. Honestly. People say, oh, well, you know, feminists got women the vote. It's like, no, the Industrial Revolution got women the vote. Women just think that they were the ones that got women the vote. The feminists do, because they were screeching and squawking about it and just happened to be a coincidence that they got the vote, you know? In fact, there were a lot of guys that didn't get the vote. We never hear about that from feminists. We never hear a balanced, double-sided conversation, because feminism is not and has never been about equality. Look in the dictionary. Read it. It's there. All right. So, and truly, and a lot of you guys, may note that I get quite a few women in my chat box sometimes, and I get women in the comments of my videos. I've even had donations over the last few days from women as well, thanking me for what I do, and also saying that they have sons. And you know, some people say, well, you know, they're only doing it because they've got sons. You know, they wouldn't have been thanking you and donating to you if they didn't have sons. Well, they do. They do have sons. They've got fathers. You know, some of them have got partners. You know, contrary to, it's so easy to think that in the current world that every woman is a feminist and that feminists are taking over. I actually see a real backlash against feminism, and not just by men, by women also. It is going to be the women who are not feminists who turn against people like Labour and the Greens in Australia and the Democrats in the US. They're going to turn against these heavily left-wing governments. And look, you know, if you're left or right-wing, I respect that. Whatever your reasons are, that's totally cool. But, you know, feminists have taken over academia. They have almost taken over our judicial system, but people are waking up, and they're waking up just in time, right? They're starting to realize that all these lies about the gender wage gap are lies. The children of single mother feminists are starting to realize that they got lied to about their father, right? Normal human beings that vote at election time are realizing that they've been lied to and done a great disservice by the political parties. And look, I don't want to go all political on here. And you're right, Charlie, it is an earnings gap, not a wage gap. I looked at the 2016 census data, and in every single age group from 14 to 85, men worked more hours on average in the previous weeks than women. So there's your wage gap right there, right? If not anything else. Anyway, guys, I really hope that this has been valuable to you. And I really hope that for those of you who are really struggling to live in cause and just own your shit, I really hope that you can start doing that, because it will set you free. I promise you. Anyway, guys, I just want to thank you all again for coming in, listening to this. Share this with people that you think need to hear this message, because it's very, very valuable information that not a lot of people talk about. And that's why I wanted to talk about it today, you know, and live my truth and really be accountable to myself. That's what I'm all about. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go in a second. But for those of you who have come over to Patreon and are supporting me there, I really appreciate you so much. If you do want to get all the really raw and uncut, juicy stories that I used to put on my main channel but can't anymore, you know what? I got to be honest with you. I actually do want to get a bit more philosophical on here. And I really, really, really am enjoying being able to have these peaceful conversations and these peaceful talks. You know, it's bringing a bit of balance back, and it's good. But for those of you guys who want the ginger rage and the good stuff from Sydney, head on over to my Patreon at patreon.com/SydneyMGTOW and pledge $1 or more a month, and you'll get the daily videos that I do there. Very occasionally I'll miss a video on one day, but as you guys know, I'm pretty much always good for it, and I continue to churn them out pretty much on the daily with about 95 to 99% regularity. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate you all, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you heard me, feminists. Gentlemen. Not gentle feminine. Yeah, you can't fuck with language. All right. The dictionary's the dictionary. Words are words. And you feminists will never silence us, because it's too important for us to say these things and talk to other men that don't get to hear this stuff from other people, especially those that were raised in households without a father. All right, man, I'm out of here. I appreciate you all. If you want to donate, patreon.com/SydneyMGTOW for the good stuff. If you just want to drop a few shekels, paypal.me/SydneyMGTOW. If you want to check out my merchandise, do so below. If you're loving this video, if you haven't yet subscribed, hit subscribe and the bell next to it so you get the daily notifications of my videos on this channel. All right, I'm out of here. I appreciate you all. I'll see you next time. Peace.